How credit scores really work and why it feels rigged. Most people think a credit score is a measure of how responsible someone is with money. Pay your bills on time, avoid mistakes, and your score goes up. Make poor choices and it goes down. That explanation feels reasonable. It also misses the point. A credit score is not designed to judge character. It's designed to predict behavior. Specifically, it tries to answer one question. How likely is this person to repay borrowed money on time? Nothing more. It doesn't measure intelligence. It doesn't measure work ethic. And it doesn't measure whether someone is good with money in a broader sense. It measures risk. Credit scores exist because lending is built on uncertainty. When a bank or lender gives someone money, they are guessing about the future. Will the payments arrive as expected? Will this person default? How much risk is acceptable? A credit score is a shortcut for answering those questions at scale. To do that, the system looks at patterns rather than context. It doesn't care why someone missed a payment. It only cares that it happened. This is one reason credit scores often feel unfair. They are indifferent to personal circumstances. From the system's point of view, consistency matters more than explanation. Another source of confusion is that using credit often improves your score. This feels backwards to many people. Why would borrowing money and paying interest make you look more trustworthy? The reason is simple. Using credit creates data. When someone regularly uses credit and repays it on time, the system gains confidence in its prediction. Someone who avoids credit entirely creates very little information. That doesn't make them risky in real life, but it does make them harder to model. From a lender's perspective, a person who never borrows is unknown. A person who borrows and repays predictably is measurable. This is why having access to credit and not using it fully can improve a score. The system isn't rewarding debt, it's rewarding predictability. Payment history carries the most weight in most scoring models. Late payments are treated seriously because they break expectations. One missed payment can stay on a credit report for years, even if everything else is managed well. That can feel excessive, but it reflects how the system thinks. A single failure matters more than a long period of normal behavior because lenders are focused on downside risk. They care less about how often things go right and more about whether things can go wrong. Another factor that confuses people is credit utilization. Using a large percentage of available credit can lower a score, even if payments are made on time. This isn't about morality or self-control, it's about stress signals. High utilization suggests that someone is close to their borrowing limits. From the system's point of view, that increases the chance of missed payments during disruption. Low utilization signals flexibility and margin. Again, this isn't a judgment, it's a probability assessment. Length of credit history also matters. Someone who has managed credit for many years appears more stable than someone with a short or fragmented history. This is why young people or those new to a country often struggle with credit, even if they earn well. The system values time-based data, not because it's fair, but because it reduces uncertainty. Another reason credit scores feel rigged is that they often reward behavior that benefits lenders. Regular use of credit, multiple accounts, long-standing relationships. From the outside, it can feel like the system pushes people toward borrowing. From the inside, it's simply optimizing for reliable revenue. Credit scoring doesn't exist to help consumers build better lives. It exists to help lenders price risk and protect themselves. Once that's understood, many confusing rules start to make sense. Why closing old accounts can hurt a score? Why opening too many new accounts at once looks risky? Why paying off debt doesn't always cause a dramatic improvement? The system isn't reacting to intent, it's reacting to patterns. This also explains why two people with similar incomes can have very different credit outcomes. One may fit the model well, the other may not. That difference can affect interest rates, access to housing, and even job applications in some regions. Credit scores quietly shape opportunity, not because they are accurate reflections of people, but because they are widely accepted tools. The system persists because it works well enough at scale. It allows lenders to operate quickly, consistently, and profitably. But that efficiency comes at the cost of nuance. Credit scores simplify complex human lives into numerical risk profiles. Understanding this doesn't make the system kinder, but it does make it less confusing. Once you see a credit score as a prediction tool rather than a judgment, the frustration shifts. The rules stop feeling personal. They still affect real lives, but they are no longer mysterious. And in a system built on prediction rather than understanding, clarity is often the most valuable thing you can have. If you want more clear explanations of how money, business, and everyday systems actually work, subscribe.